The Special Investigating Unit's bid to include 6 more companies in the Digital Vibes litigation process has been successful. This brings the number of companies related to the controversial contract to 38. The SIU is trying to recover 150 million rand from the contract, which was paid to a communications company owned by associates of the former Health Minister, Dr. Zweli Mkhize. Now, that debacle cost the minister his job. He did get some good news, if you can put it that way, last night, when a parliamentary ethics inquiry basically found in his favor. It's not pronounced on him violating any rules as far as ethics are concerned. But let's talk more about this then. Speak to Levy Ndou, a political analyst. Mr. Ndou, good to have you with us, and thank you for your patience this afternoon as we got through that developing story. So the ethics finding from Parliament, essentially in former Minister Zweli Mkhize's favor, how significant is it?
Good afternoon, Temekile. Good afternoon to the viewers at home. I think this is quite significant for Zweli Mkhize in the sense that the institution that he's serving in now as an ordinary member of parliament has actually found him innocent when it comes to ethical issues. And that can be a booster for his bid to campaign for the ANC leadership in December. Even though this one becomes a booster, he still has other legs to walk on. He still has to deal with the legal matters with the SIU, which has actually found otherwise. And that will require him to go through those processes, and indeed that he has a potential to remove the big cloud over his head, and that can indeed boost his ambition to lead the ANC. And
it must be stated that what Parliament's Ethics Committee was dealing with was not whether the minister was involved in corruption per se, because there's a legal process that will look into that. It was looking into a complaint brought forward by the DA Member of Parliament, Sivuyo Kwahube, a contract related to allegations that Digital Vibes or some of the people involved paid, for example, for maintenance work done at the former minister's home in Bryanston here in Johannesburg. Part of that complaint was also about monies that moved into the account of the former minister's son, right? When you look at those allegations, the outcome from the ethics committee, the continuing process by the SIU, and then the fact that the ANC has in recent weeks elected 2 people who are facing criminal processes, do you think really that any of this can stand in the way of Zweli Mkhize's ambitions, should he have any, ahead of the conference at the end of the year?
Well, I think you put it very clearly that there are different processes that are running. The parliamentary process is totally different from what the SIU is doing. And it appears as if the SIU seem to be having all the necessary facts to say that has been found to be wrong. Few hours ago, we just got the report that the SIU has been granted permission to recover monies from the companies that are actually very close to former Minister Zweli Mkhize. That would suggest for me that the road for Zweli Mkhize to clear his name is far from over. And indeed, if of course he has got an ambition to lead the ANC, all these processes have to be concluded before the ANC goes to conference. But I think what is more important is not about him leading the ANC. I think for me what is important is for Zweli Mkhize to be able to clear his name so that the cloud over his head has to be removed. I think that for me, that is quite primary.
And any stepping aside would happen in the context of the ANC's step aside resolution. It's already been tested because it does not prevent people who are charged from being elected and even nominated by branches. Do you think that is actually going to be the biggest problem for the ANC ahead of conference?
No, I think firstly, if you look at Zweli Mkhize, he did what has been in the prescripts of the ANC. Whilst people are talking about digital vibes and other sectors of society outside the ANC have started talking about Zweli Mkhize to be removed by the president, he actually himself decided to step aside from his position as the minister to remain as an ordinary member of parliament, even though these matters have not gone to court. And I think it's important to note that Zweli Mkhize has not been as yet formally charged. So I think in the processes of the ANC, he does not fall under those that are supposed to step aside. But I think he's worried that if the NPA can then decide to charge him, he will then not be able to participate in the ANC processes. But overall, he still has a big cloud hanging over his head based on the SIU findings. And I think that is what he's trying to fight against.
Levy Ndou, grateful for your time. Thank you so much for being on Daytime Update today.